it's a validation. We all decide in our hearts, in our minds, amongst our friends, what accomplishment is.
I think the Hall of Fame means a recognition by your fellow competitors that you've achieved a level that is rare within the sport. And I think there's an appreciation and respect for the folks that are being inducted because they've been within the Trans Am community for so long. You look at the names that are there. These are people that their names are synonymous with Trans Am.
This is an amazing honor for me. I competed in my first Trans Am race 48 years ago. As I look through the chain of events, there are cycles to winners. You have your time in the sun. And whether it was Parnelli or George Fulmer or Mark Donohue, you have, we'll call it an era, where you do the best of what you do. And in my case, mine was different because I was involved in Trans Am as a driver for about 35 years total, the first race to last race. As an owner, 48 years. And I had my time. And in my time, which really came behind, when Tommy Kendall won 11 in a row, I was second or third every race. So it wasn't my time. I out-qualified him, but in the end, he had a better race car over 100 miles. He had more talent. Whatever it was, he beat me. 5 years later, Tommy came back to race on my team for Rocketsports in a Jaguar, and we competed head-to-head, and I ended up winning the championship because I won one more race that season than he did. So that started my time, and you have to live it vicariously. You have to cherish every moment, and you have to be ruthlessly competitive.
Paul is being inducted for a lot of reasons, and he's always been a bit of an overachiever, I guess. From the business side, that's been his basis in life, is the business side. And so I think that one thing I do know about him is that if you present him with a problem, he will try and solve it. And I think in a lot of cases, he was maybe the only one who was going to stand up and solve the problem of the time to keep things going. And I think he feels a sense of the history of the series and didn't want to see that go away at times when it was in danger of doing so.
I shook hands with Parnelli Jones in 1969 at MIS at the Trans Am race. I met Jack Roush in 1973 at Tri-City Dragway in Michigan. And Jack, besides he and I being in two plane crashes together, had a friendship for life. I met Roger Penske in 1977, and we did our first business deal, he and Walt Zarnicki. Again, friends for life. And those experiences have transitioned into drag racing and then into road racing. And along the way, what I'm most appreciative of are the competitors who were enemies on the day of the race that became friends today. When you're finally inducted, I've been in the Michigan Motorsports Hall of Fame and the International Motorsports Hall of Fame, but that's because people see you on TV and they get to know your name, and they might have read a story or saw you on Speed Channel in the day. But when your peers, when the people that run the sanctioning body and that you race against validate you with being a member, you're in. You finally accomplished.
He built his own car a lot of years. I mean, like I said, in our garage, it was he and his two best friends, Butch and Winston. Those are some racing names for you. And that's how it started, truly. He built his own engines and built his own cars, and that's why he's here today.
I look back at the sacrifices my family made, my wife of 54 years, my sons Tony and John. Yeah, she should be up here giving the speech. I look back at, and I'm sorry that Ron Fellows isn't here. I'm the only guy to beat Ron Fellows at Mossport. and it was in a car that my son Tony built the engine for. Ron wanted to buy it after the race, and my son John engineered. So the journey we've been on is a journey of family.
He was born to compete in motor racing, and he enjoys it. The highs, the lows, the money, the prizes, all of that kind of stuff is what drives him.
Well, it's always complicated when we take racing lessons from Dad. We don't always agree, I think, and he does have a ton of experience. So what I can say is, if you do disagree, you better bring receipts, and you better show your work, which in and of itself is a lot of, the type of person he is as a manager, but also the type of person he is as a man, is that you really have to, you can't just show up and spout off. You'd better be able to defend your position. And obviously that's a tough thing to do when you're a young engineer, but it has made me better everywhere else in life, because I bring that same tenacity to anything that I do, because my expectation is I'm gonna have to prove it.
We compete in life for accomplishments. We compete because we have the fear of being ordinary. And that's what makes everybody in this room extraordinary people. So congratulations to all of you. I couldn't be more proud. Thank you.
When someone says you're now a member, that means you've achieved.